All right, so Bernie, I'm going to give you the microphone first.
Thank you.
Here you go. And am I live with the lav? Here, good.
Great.
So let's just start with this one, Bernie. This is for you. And this one says, we're not going to answer all of this question, but I think it's a great question because we get it sometimes. It says, this individual writes, I live in Baltimore, Maryland, next to Johns Hopkins Hospital, and I'm finding that most of my doctor and scientist friends really doubt GeneWise, okay? And Bernie, maybe you could comment just a little bit about that, because we sometimes get that people that are approaching their doctor and scientific friends. Maybe you could respond.
Absolutely. So I guess I can say in the beginning, when I was first advised of GeneLink, I was given a box of scientific papers by Dr. Ricciardi. And I recall that the pile was about a foot high, because I too was skeptical. And I have to tell you why I was skeptical, because allopathic physicians, that's MDs, got exactly 3 hours of nutrition one morning in the second year of medical school. So that's about how much the average MD of my generation has for experience. The second thing was that after I read my pile of scientific papers provided by Dr. Ricciardi, I was still unsure, thought that it was real, talked to Dr. Harrison, who was my colleague, and as you know, Dr. Harrison is a fairly bright guy who's published about 400 papers in his career. He also thinks of things that I could only dream of. Anyway, I said, Harry, is this real? Well, instead of taking a month to get through the papers, it took Harry about a week. And he came back and said, Bernie, I believe there is something there. So I joined GeneLink as an advisor, and I invited Dr. Harrison to join me. And that team, complementing Dr. Simpkins and Dr. Ricciardi, has kind of catalyzed some of the work that you see. So yes, it's cutting-edge work, but it's by people who are pretty established in their fields. So I'd say it's leading work. The second then is that by nature, physicians are skeptical and slow to adapt. The third thing is that our professional society finally got around to saying last year that maybe a multivitamin would be okay. This is after saying that if you eat the food pyramid, you'd probably be all right. Well, they changed their mind. Now it's okay to take a multivitamin. So I think in about 10 years' time, the run-of-the-mill medicine will say, yeah, you probably should do vitamins, and you probably should take the correct nutrition for you. So it was a long answer to a fact that we are on the leading edge of this. I think you see that established physicians and scientists have put their reputation and name behind it, and that the quality of the work speaks for itself. So I think the guys at Johns Hopkins will catch up. It'll take a little time. And I would invite them then for you to share with them the genetic compass that you have copies of. Each of the SNPs that Dr. Ricciardi has selected is documented by 5 to 10 scientific papers, and that's just a summary of the most relevant ones that tell why they're important for what we say they are. There's a brief summary of that in your custom genetic report. You can point those out and show them the references, and I think that'd be a good start towards causing them to catch up. But sometimes it's kind of difficult to make a battlefield conversion, so don't feel bad if they don't get it the first time. It's like Stephen Theo said, it takes 5 times. In case the doctors might take 10, and I'll tell you one last little quip. An MD degree or a DO degree is a lifetime exemption from reading instructions. So don't feel bad if they don't get it right off.
Jim,
Dr. Simpkin.
I would just add, my son, who's an MD, is at Hopkins, so he's one of those people who are disbelievers. He often complains to me that he practices what he calls crisis medicine. People who are the sickest of the sick people show up at Hopkins. I don't think he ever thinks about preventative medicine. And so when I talk to him, this is really a foreign concept to some of the best physicians in the world. So keep talking to them. They're good people. They'll get it someday.
All right, great. Thank you.
I just had a real short answer to the question. As you were talking, it was very eloquent, Bernie and Jim. And the answer is today's heresy is tomorrow's dogma. Okay? All right.
Could I just add
Yes,
one more thing
please.
to that? Be aware that personalized medicine, it's very, very new. And as I alluded to before, and somewhat, is that the National Institutes of Health, okay, has a division now of personalized medicine. So this is actually now going out with, we're getting grants now in personalized medicine and so forth. It's right there at the NIH. And in fact, the director of the NIH now, who was just assigned by President Obama, has hired Francis Collins. Francis Collins, as you may know, was instrumental. He was one of the two major people responsible for sequencing the human genome. And he is a true believer in the personalized medicine field himself. So I think we have a lot of very, very credible backing in the general sense that personalized medicine is here to stay. And I believe that a lot of people at the NIH believe in the wellness paradigm as well, preventive medicine.
Thanks,
Great.
Rob.
Rob, you might as well hang on to the microphone because this next question is going right back to you. Dr. Ricciardi, do the GeneWise supplements repair genes?
No, you can't repair a gene. You can't fix it. What we do is we compensate for what the gene is, for the protein that it encodes, what it is incapable of doing. If it's inefficient, then what you do is you put in something that's compensatory. That would be the nutritional component. But you don't actually fix or repair the DNA per se.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
John, here's one for you.
Okay.
There you go. A question for the panel, but John, I think this will fit you. Why are the ingredients in the skin serum the same for everyone?
Well, those are just sample ingredients. As many of you know, we're not going to be ready to ship real product, and not that your product's not real. All of your products were customized, but they were customized on an individual basis. So our systems are not all completely up and able to print out each individual report for you. So what you've received is a list of all possible ingredients that could be in your skin serum. And in September, when we start shipping live product, we will have a customized report with your customized ingredients.
Great. So just to be perfectly clear, the serums that were given to you are absolutely customized for you, and you
Absolutely.
just received a global list of ingredients because our systems aren't printing out the individual list as of yet. Got it? Okay. Question, John?
Okay. Jim, this question is for you. Do we have any data from clinical studies that DNA can repair individuals diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's?
GeneLink sponsored a study, I think, starting 2 or 3 years ago. To date, there's about 250 folks in it. About half of them demented, half of them cognitively normal for age. I think their age range was 70 to 85 years. And in that study, we were able to identify several genes that are very important to brain health, which, if they were present or absent, were associated with dementia in the elderly. So there are genetic events that make us prone to develop dementia with age. There are genes that seem to protect us from that. We're just now elucidating what are those genes, and hopefully in the not too distant future, GeneWise will have a product that's tailored for each of our genetics to help us protect our brains from age. Can we repair DNA? No, but we can bypass the problem in DNA and provide supplements that should be good for individuals and, best yet, tailored for each of us.
Great, thank you.
Bernie, this is for you. Will we ever allow individual preferred ingredients?
I think that's a goal. The practical application is that we have 500,000 different combinations that are tailored. We will have additional boosts that people can select. And so our base product, combined with the boosts that we anticipate, and you'll learn more about these as we talk over the next day, I think begin to allow for most preferences.
Perfect. Dr. Cannon, this one's for you.
It's about time.
Sorry about that. Where do we find the evidence for our genetic test as well as our supplement ingredients? And are they validated? Validated.
Well, I'm going to expand on that. First of all, I would thank you all. I want you all to know that I'm more than a symbol of sartorial splendor. That information is in the compass, which I understand you've all received, and you should read at least 3 times and be very knowledgeable about it. If there's information you don't have in that, you can call Longwood. They have all the information. Now this information I heard about the website is going to be even greater for you, so you should never be without that. And getting back to my suit here, when I came here this afternoon, I got on the elevator. And these 3 ladies, not associated with GeneWise, got on the elevator and they said, "Oh, don't you look nice?" And one lady said, "You must be getting married." I said, "No, thank you. Been there, done that." The information that you're receiving as part of that question and the information that you heard in the earlier is exactly what you need to be successful. Now, I'll talk about the validation and the quality when I speak tomorrow, but yes, the answer is it is validated.
Great. Thank you.
Here's one. John, this is for you. Is the skin serum potentially, let me see if I can read, can it be diluted by any other product that is put on the skin after you put the skin serum on? Maybe we should talk about that.
Sure, absolutely. I believe most of you did have instructions with your skincare product, and we recommend you apply this skincare product to your, after you cleanse your face in the morning and evening, and you apply this first as a base product. And you can apply whatever products you'd like on top of this, including sunscreen. If you have any acne problems, or you live in a very dry climate, you may require some more moisture. You may require some more a heavier product. So absolutely, you can use this product in conjunction with anything else. But we recommend for aging purposes and to get the best benefit out of the product to use the serum first, and then you can apply other products on top of this.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rob, would you handle this? What age can children start the LifeMap nutrition system?
16 years old.
Great.
That's the start.
And Bernie, this one goes out to you. Are there any contraindications to prescription medications such as Coumadin and others in our nutritional product?
Nominally, no, but there's some precautions. In one of our SNP boosts, there is some vitamin K. Vitamin K counters the action of Coumadin. So when you have a situation that you're concerned about, such as you're on prescription medications, in the back of your personalized report, there's some detail that you can share with your physician. Now, the fact is that the amount of vitamin K is small and is not likely to disturb the balance of your Coumadin and your coagulation parameters, but it's something to discuss in all cases. For the vast majority of people, no problem at all.
Great. And I'd also like to add that in your booklet that you get with your genetic report is a list of all the vitamins and minerals, so you can bring that report right to your physician if you do have any questions.
I keep dropping that. I'll tell you what.
Well, that's okay, Monty. This question's actually, next one is for you here. Besides our Me products, are there any plans for customized skin screen products?
You're talking about sunscreen?
Sunscreen, I'm sorry,
products.
sunscreen, yes.
Actually, it's an area that we have looked at for a number of years, and we would absolutely love to customize sunscreen. But the challenges for us at this point, the way the laws are around sunscreens, is that you have to have each and every formula validated by the FDA, the exact amount of sunscreen that is in it. And given that we'd be customizing, we'd have to have each and every one of your formulas validated, and it's many, many thousands for each individual formula. So we're looking at that. One of the things that we're considering is maybe drawing from a group of, and don't hold us to this, but let's say maybe 8 to 10 formulas that are pre-made that you would fall into those areas as a better sunscreen for you. Does that make sense? But the challenge, very simply, is by law, you're not allowed to customize a sun care product unless it's completely validated. We would be validating tens of thousands of formulas. So let's put it this way. If you'll pay, how about $7,500 to $12,000 each to have your formula validated, I think we can do it. Bernie will do it. So it's a challenge, but we're looking at it and trying to come up with another area.
I'd like to just make a comment on the prior question about interaction with medicinals. And if you have clients that do have a reaction, we want to hear about it. This is part of our quality assurance check. So please inform the front office if you suspect an allergic reaction or any other problem so that we can discuss it with you and record it and take a better look at it.
Thank you, Don. You know, we just have one more minute, and I think we should close with talking about, I want to make one comment, but close with talking about, to whoever's appropriate, talk about the trial that is in development right now, and we expect over the next 60, 90 days, the clinical trial. So let's close with that. But just one comment I was thinking of. We were upstairs during lunch looking at the questions, and we've received questions over the last year, and actually we've realized that you've done an incredible job of reading the FAQs and GeneWise Academy, because the questions we used to get, we'd go, are the folks paying attention? Because I can't believe they just asked us this question. And this was one of the very first times that we looked at the questions and went, wow, this group is very well educated. You could tell by the level of questions that came in that the basics you've been covering through our FAQs and through talking with your leadership and your sponsors and enrollees, and certainly through GeneWise Academy. So please put your hands together for that. We appreciate that very much. So in closing, we just went to zero there. Let's talk just about, Rob, you want to talk just a little bit about the trial that the Scientific Advisory Board is under development now?
Right. We're developing another clinical trial for the oxidative stress. One of the big things that this company is interested in doing is validation of anything and everything that it can. So it's very important to us, as we had done with the skin, and you saw what happened there, how beautifully that worked out. We're doing this with the nutritional as well. Actually, in part of that nutritional has been validated already in a mini clinical on the CoQ10, where we saw a direct correlation between levels of CoQ10 in the blood and the CoQ10 phenotype. So in essence, and even that might help with the Johns Hopkins doctors. So that has actually been done, that part. And we're filling in other parts of the validation.
Sure. So what's contemplated is a double-blind trial. That's where both the healthcare provider and the client don't know whether they're getting the actives or not. And this will be done by a professional contract research organization, likely the same one that did our skin trial, which was so successful. So we're very excited about it, and we'll keep you posted as the trials progress.
So thank you very much. We're going to stay on time. We really appreciate your questions and appreciate you. And just one more time, if you put your hands together for Dr. Jim Simpkins, Dr. Donald Cannon, Dr. Rob Ricciardi, and Dr. Bernie Cassidy.